lads, today we're talking about this, and we're talking about this whole thing, and is it proof that the WNBA players hate Caitlin Clark? And I don't mean hate Caitlin Clark. Like, I'm gonna come, well, to be fair, I don't mean hate Caitlin Clark, hate Caitlin Clark person. I don't think any of them do. I don't think that's a thing. But just hate the entire idea. So, we're talking about All-Star voting here, where the players voted Caitlin Clark as the 9th best player at her position.
So, has it finally been confirmed? Are WNBA players really gathering in dimly lit locker rooms, whispering strategies to take down Caitlin Clark? Or is the truth even simpler, that she's just too talented, too composed, and rising too fast for the league to process? Buckle up, because we're diving headfirst into a world of flying elbows, icy glaze, and post-game quotes that sound like deleted scenes from a Mean Girls reboot. This isn't just basketball anymore, it's a full-blown soap opera in sneakers. Let's decode the Caitlin Clark conspiracy.
The starters have been revealed today. You got Aaliyah Boston, shout out to AB, Paige Beckers, Caitlin Clark, Nafisa Collier, Alicia Gray, Sabrina Ionescu, Aneka Ogwumike, Satu, Sabali, Brianna Stewart, and Asia Wilson will be your 10 starters that Clark and Nafisa Collier get to choose from. And what everybody is talking about are the player rankings when it comes to the All-Star ballot.
Oh, of course they hate her. That's not even up for debate anymore. At this point, it's practically a league-wide pastime. You've got WNBA players reacting like someone just cancelled their favorite childhood cartoon every time Caitlin Clark gets the ball. The body language says it all. Stiff postures, dagger-like side eyes, and elbows that look like they've been pre-programmed to find her ribs.
Caitlin Clark and the WNBA All-Star voting, we now know who the 10 starters are going to be. And we also got a peel back the curtain reveal on what the other players in the league think of Caitlin Clark. This All-Star voting told us something, and it confirms exactly what we think. The other players in the league can't stand Caitlin Clark. I mean, it's baffling. I've seen some people trying to claim she shouldn't be in the game. She's tied for the league lead in assists, for crying out.
Let's be real. Some of these vets are out here playing like they're auditioning for Survivor, Elbow Island. And why? Because Caitlin Clark walked into their league with a Nike deal, a personal camera crew, and more fans than half the franchises combined. You better believe that burns. And they are not hiding it.
At the percentages here, let's compare Jackie Young to Natasha Cloud. Even with Caitlin Clark on her, like, the 56th in points per game, Caitlin Clark has more points this season than Jackie Young. Sorry, not Jackie Young, than Natasha Cloud. Caitlin Clark has more points this season than Natasha Cloud. Natasha Cloud, I'm not joking when I say this, has played, am I right in saying she's played 8 more games than Caitlin Clark? I think she's played 8 more games than Caitlin Clark. Like, she has less points in 8 more games. She is 3rd in assists, in fairness. Alyssa Thomas is probably going to average above 10 assists.
These are players who've spent years grinding in half-empty arenas, handing out free tickets like club flyers, only to watch one rookie walk in and snag more primetime coverage in a week than they've seen in an entire decade. In the WNBA universe, that's not just threatening, it's downright offensive.
Your guys' opinion, do you feel like Caitlin Clark gets kind of targeted at some of these games, or it's just basketball?
Yeah, so she get targeted just like Jordan got targeted.
It's a privilege. You're the best player.
The Jordan rules. They have the Jordan rules. When you're so good, you're going to get targeted. Absolutely. It just is what it is.
Absolutely.
Like come on, man. You got to, like, when you at a disadvantage, like, I feel like, just like boxing or something, if you fighting against the best, you got to do something junk.
And the irony? She didn't even ask for any of this. Caitlin Clark didn't show up with a flamethrower and a crown yelling, "Bow down, peasants." She just started casually draining logo threes and selling out arenas like it was a side quest. Naturally, the response has been subtle. If your definition of subtle includes bruising defense, vanishing whistles, and team strategies that feel more like psychological warfare than basketball. It's like every coach got the same top-secret memo. Forget the scoreboard, just rattle the rookie. And here's where it gets even juicier. You'd think with all this attention and momentum, the WNBA would at least pretend to roll out the welcome mat. Maybe toss her a bone, let the fans enjoy their new favorite star. But nope, not even close. The league is looking at Caitlin Clark the same way a cat looks at a cucumber. Suspicious, startled, and absolutely convinced it's a threat. Still not convinced. Let's talk All-Star. Fever fans didn't just vote, they mobilized. They voted for Clark, for Collier, probably even for the team bus driver just to make a statement. Clark didn't just top the fan vote, she steamrolled it. It was like a high school election where one kid brings cupcakes and everyone else hands out broken pencils. But despite leading the charge, she barely made it in. Not because of her performance, because the league just can't stomach the idea that the face of the WNBA might have arrived wearing an Iowa jersey and a Nike logo.
Sophie Cunningham said nobody likes us about the Indiana Fever, and the player voting returns for the WNBA All-Star Game don't exactly dispel that notion, because Caitlin Clark received the most votes overall, like captain on the team alongside Nafisa Collier. Another starter, Aaliyah Boston, was right behind them in votes, yet both Clark and AB were ranked 9th by the players in guards and front.
And that Olympic roster? Oh boy. That wasn't just a snub, that was a statement. That was the WNBA's version of, we see you, but we'd rather pretend we didn't. Imagine being the player who single-handedly reignites national interest in women's basketball, shatters viewership records, and becomes a global name, only to be treated like a background extra in the movie she's starring in. It's like Netflix rebooting a hit series and forgetting to cast the lead. The message? Thanks for the ratings. Now go sit quietly in the corner. Of course. They'll trot out the usual excuses. It's about experience. Sure, and a raccoon in a lab coat has experience too. Doesn't mean he should be running the CDC. If it were about talent, she's a lock. If it were about popularity, she's the first name on the list. But if it's about preserving the fragile egos of players who were supposed to be the face of the league, then suddenly she's not ready. And then there's the Fever fan base, a beautiful chaos in real time. Half of them are out here building Caitlin Clark shrines, complete with neon signs and scrapbook tributes. The other half, voting for literally anyone not wearing her jersey. It's like they've been hypnotized by reverse psychology. Fever fans are casting votes like they're playing fantasy basketball with a blindfold on and a spinning wheel.
She's averaging 18 points a game. I mean, she's in a 3-game shooting downturn. All right? A 3-game shooting slump. And other than that, in the injuries, it's been business as usual for most.
And yet, somehow, it still worked. Why? Because Caitlin Clark brings a tidal wave of attention everywhere she goes, even if half the league secretly wishes she'd ride it straight back to Iowa. The funniest part, if fans hadn't rallied, Clark would have been watching All-Star Weekend from her couch with a bowl of popcorn and a look that says, "Wait, what just happened?" That's how deep the resistance runs. The league's gatekeepers are gripping their clipboards so tight they're leaving permanent dents. If it were up to them, Caitlin wouldn't be on any marquee. She'd be squeezed into a 5-second highlight reel wedged between defensive slides and warm-up layups. They say she's not WNBA ready, but what they really mean is, she's not WNBA compliant. And nothing rattles the system more than someone who refuses to knock before walking through the front door. Her very presence is a contradiction to the culture, to the pecking order, to the idea that success has to follow a rigid, pre-approved script. The league wanted attention, sure, but only on their terms. They wanted fans, but not new fans with strong opinions, loud voices, and trending hashtags. They wanted growth, but not the kind that shakes up the old guard and forces uncomfortable questions. Questions like, why weren't we this popular before she showed up?
WNBA All-Star starters have been announced, y'all. They've been announced. Y'all want to guess who not starting? Hey, listen, some people don't belong in certain conversations. Do y'all want to guess who's not an all-star starter that should have been a starter? I got a couple people that I think should have been starting, but we will get to.
So instead of celebrating the once-in-a-generation rookie dragging the WNBA into the mainstream spotlight, the league has chosen the silent treatment, except with bruises and borderline assault disguised as defense. It's a masterclass in insecure leadership, watching an organization pretend it's thriving while quietly shoving its biggest opportunity into the corner like an unwanted party guest. But this isn't just happening on the court. It's in press conferences, post-game interviews, even whispered sideline chatter. And somehow, she's still standing, still smiling, still pulling up from 30 feet like she's shooting on pure spite. Because that's the real issue, isn't it? She doesn't just survive the hate, she thrives in it. She turns booze into buzz, fouls into fuel, and cold shoulders into sold-out arenas. Every time someone tries to shut her down, she gets louder. Without ever raising her voice, Caitlin Clark isn't just a player. She's a living, breathing reminder that the old way of doing things isn't cutting it anymore. And that terrifies the people who've been clinging to the status quo like it's a life raft in a storm. So here we are, witnessing one of the most ironic spectacles in all of sports. A league desperate to be seen somehow resenting the one person everyone is tuning in to see. Caitlin Clark didn't create the chaos, but she's absolutely become the eye of the storm. Whether she's getting hacked mid-dribble or mysteriously left off rosters like a glitch in the Matrix, one thing remains true. She's the most talked about, watched, and debated player in the league.